Imagine being 35 years old, sipping your morning coffee, and owing absolutely $0 to anyone on this planet. No student loans, no car note, no credit card debt, nothing. Sounds like a fantasy cooked up by a finance influencer trying to sell you a course, right? But here's the thing, a growing number of 25-year-olds are actually pulling this off. And it's not because they inherited money or survived on rice and sadness for a decade. The math is real, the window is tight, and the plan is more achievable than the doom scrolling on your phone would have you believe. Now, let's talk about why most people never even try. Because the average 25-year-old in America is staring down roughly $37,000 in student loan debt, a car payment that somehow feels normal, and a credit card balance that quietly grew while they were just living their life. The system wasn't exactly designed to hand you a map out of this maze. It was designed to keep you paying interest forever. The catalyst for change almost always comes from a single moment of clarity. Maybe you ran your numbers one night and realized you were paying more in interest than you were saving, which is basically the financial equivalent of rowing a boat with a hole in it. That moment of absurdity, working hard, earning money, and still falling behind is exactly the wake-up call that separates the people who shift their trajectory from the ones who don't. So, what does a realistic plan actually look like? Because just spend less is the financial advice equivalent of telling someone to just be happy. The framework that consistently works looks like this. Aggressively attack high-interest debt. First, using the avalanche method. Build a lean but real emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then redirect every freed up dollar like it has a job to do. Here's where people get emotionally hijacked. They confuse intensity with sustainability. Go full monk mode for 90 days, burn out, and go right back to their old patterns. Because deprivation without strategy is just punishment. The research on behavioral finance is pretty clear. Small, consistent wins beat heroic, unsustainable sprints every single time, and your brain is literally wired to reward progress over perfection. Let's address the elephant in the room. The idea that a 25-year-old can't possibly earn enough to make a dent in debt while also building a life is both statistically outdated and intellectually lazy. Income acceleration through skill building, side income, job hopping strategically, or even house hacking with real estate can dramatically compress your debt-free timeline from 10 years to 5 if you're intentional. History actually has a lot to say here. Every generation has had its version of impossible financial circumstances. And the people who came out ahead weren't the ones who waited for the perfect economy. They were the ones who understood the cycle and positioned themselves within it. The 1990s had credit card explosions. The 2000s had mortgage disasters. The 2010s had student loan crises. And in every era, the disciplined minority quietly built wealth while everyone else complained about the system. There's a common misconception that being debt-free by 35 means living like a medieval peasant while your friends go on vacation and buy nice things. But what it actually means is temporarily delaying gratification in exchange for permanent optionality. When you owe no one anything, every dollar you earn is yours to deploy however you choose. And that kind of freedom buys experiences no credit card ever could. The practical roadmap breaks down into 3 phases over 10 years. Years 1 through 3 are about brutal debt reduction and behavioral rewiring. Years 4 through 7 are about income growth and building assets. And years 8 through 10 are about optimization, investing, and locking in your debt-free identity before your 35th birthday. The numbers work if you treat this like a business plan and not a New Year's resolution. Position size matters more than conviction here, meaning don't blow your entire financial life on one aggressive bet just because a podcast told you to. Diversifying your approach between debt paydown, modest investing, and income growth simultaneously gives you redundancy so that if one strategy slows, the whole system doesn't collapse. The philosophical truth underneath all of this is that being debt-free isn't really about money. It's about reclaiming your time, your choices, and your mental bandwidth from a system that profits from your financial paralysis. Discipline, consistency, and sizing your decisions appropriately will always outlast raw intensity and blind optimism. And honestly, whether you get there at 33 or 37, the direction matters infinitely more than the deadline. Because a 25-year-old who starts now and misses the target by 2 years is still decades ahead of the person who never started at all. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be in motion. If you're ready to turn this plan into action, whether that means investing in real estate, tackling a home renovation to build equity, or connecting with the right lenders to restructure your debt, check out our links in the description below and let's get you started.